Hey, what's up, nerds? So, if you're like me, then you've definitely been playing a lot of Schedule 1 recently. It's kind of crazy how big this game has become. But basically, I'm going to be showing you what I believe to be the most efficient weed setup, like automated weed production setup here. Because as you can see, I have the whole process from start to finish automated. And kind of the reason why I'm making this is because there's a lot of misconceptions about what you should do and what you shouldn't do, especially with mixing and drying racks and stuff like that. So I'm basically going to be showing off my setup here. So let's go ahead and get started. So you can see I have three of these kind of duplicate designs here where you have eight of these are the air pots with the full spectrum lights. That makes it where they'll grow as quick as possible. And then you have Ronald here, the botanist. I have one for each area, obviously, handling the pots. And he basically uses green crack because it's the most addictive base strand. Extra long life soil and fertilizer. And basically, to just talk about this real quick, the reason why I use fertilizer instead of the drying racks is actually because I calculated that it kind of just wastes resources to do the drying rack, in terms of, like, if I wanted to keep the drying rack to be able to maintain the same level of production as what these guys are able to go through, then I would need to actually have an entire extra botanist per each one of these three things to handle a whole, like, 8 stack of drying racks just to maintain at the same level that they're producing, roughly. So it really is just quicker and simpler to just use fertilizer, especially when you're working at this level of money. It really just makes more sense to do this. And it saves you from the extra employees, and the extra space, honestly, is the big thing with that. But in terms of the mixing, if you're wondering why I don't have any mixing, there's a big misconception that mixing actually gets you more money, and it doesn't. And a lot of people are probably being like, that's not true. If you do mixing, it increases the value of the product. Well, I don't know if you've noticed, but when you sell a more expensive product, they will actually ask for less. So you can see that these two orders for the regular green crack variant is worth, they're asking for 8 each. Before, when I was selling a 4-mix product here, the Mega Kush, that's worth 115 instead of the 43, they were only asking for like 3. So you have to realize that each customer has, like, sort of a maximum amount that they will spend in a given day on drugs. And if you make a more expensive product, they'll just buy less. So it ends up really not being worth it, because then you have to have chemists, which are more expensive, and all of these mixing machines to produce it, and it literally is a complete waste of time and money to do it that way. And you can test it yourself, because the way that I tested it, you can go and try this yourself, is start the beginning of your day and list green crack for sale. And then every time somebody sends in an order, for the first 10 people, write down the amount that they asked for, and then add them all together and multiply it by the $43 asking price. Okay? Once they give you that, redo the same test, but with a higher strand. Like, for example, something like this, where it has 4 different mixes in there. List the same thing, and what you'll notice when you do the math is that they are almost price comparable. Because what I came out to is $3,100 for 10 customers with this, and $3,300 for this, which you might be like, okay, well, that's $200 more. Well, okay, how much did you spend, though, on all of the supplies and stuff for mixing, like all of those products that you mixed in? How much did all of that cost? How much did all the chemists cost? how much of your own time did it take up having to constantly restock their supplies, because that's the biggest thing. So it turns out that it's basically just not worth it, so don't mix. Now the last thing is the packaging section here. You can see I have two packagers, one for the jars and one for the bricks. Now if you're still making baggies, don't do that. That's completely ridiculous. It's a waste of your time. Jars can hold way more here on the shelf of product, and it's way better for your inventory. And a lot of people don't do it because they're like, okay, well, what am I supposed to do for customers like this, where they're asking for 8, each one of these jars holds 5, so, you know, 5 doesn't go into 8. Well, here's the thing. When you go to accept their order, don't just hit yes. We counter offer it, and then increase it to a multiple of 5. So you see, instead, I'm going to say that I'm going to give them 10 crack, and then I'm going to increase it a little bit. I think that was like $140 more, and see, he'll accept it. So every single one of these deals, I'm just going to increase it to a multiple of 5. And then just sell it that way, because it really does just make the most sense to do it this way. Now, in terms of the bricks over here, the reason why you should make these too is because they're actually way better for your dealers. Your dealers can automatically split these out into like jars and baggies themselves. So it means that you're able to just hand them this amount and they can hold way more, so you don't have to go to them as much. And that's kind of going to be what we're doing now. So before I have to go and sell all of these products, we're going to go make sure that the dealers are stocked up. Which, by the way, you may notice that I've been choosing nighttime for the deals. That's actually not the most efficient time. The time that you really want to do is late night, because then you'll get the curfew bonus if you do it after curfew, and you don't have to worry about not having time to sell, because you'll always, like, the time stops at 4 a.m. So you can really just have infinite time to do it, because it won't ever, it will just say expires in 2 hours, and it will never actually decrease that timer. Okay, so they're all out. That's fun. Let's see here. You? No. Where'd you go? Oh, she's down here. So like I said, these bars are really way better for the dealers. Here, let's see. Let's collect the earnings. Let's see what you have. Okay, I see. So you still... Why don't you sell the little baggies first? But let's give you 10 profit. You go ahead and sell that. Come over here to Molly. Let's see, you've got 12,000. That's nice. Give you another 10. Okay. We got Benji and Brad. And if you do have, and this is just like this is not something you have to do, but you should always assign the dealers to the customers that are farther away from wherever your main area is, so that you don't have to spend as much time, you know, going really far for deals. Oh, he's out dealing. Okay. Oh, he's right over here, actually. Come here. Come here, buddy. Alright. So we should be able to see at the end of the day how much we earn for doing all of this. I believe it doesn't count. Like, I believe all the money that I just collected, if it's from a previous day, then technically it doesn't count. Not completely sure on that, but I think at the end of the day it will just tell us literally how much we earned that day from even if we didn't collect the money. Okay. You're not there yet. Oh, it's you! We need to beat up Peter. Okay. Sell to you at night too. Alright, come here, Peter. Let's give you that. Nope, come here. Oh, shit. Come here. Come here, Peter! Come here, Peter! Oh, crap. Okay. So pro tip, don't beat up Peter when the police can see. Not a good idea. Oh, you're right behind me. I'm trying to sell, you know that, right? Dang it. Okay, so I was not intending to have to lose the cops here, but I need to get more product anyway because I'm almost out. But you can see here, this is another reason why the jars are better, because they can hold way more on the shelf. If each one of these is 5 times 20, then that means that there's 100 product per slot here, which is a lot. You're really able to hold a lot, and it's also really efficient for the bricks. So, because I actually, the whole thing with mixing is I actually used to mix, and it was really like a waste of time. I would have to constantly go in there and make sure that products were resupplied. It took up so much time. It's just not even remotely worth your time to do all of that. I am possibly taking a slight detour to launder money. That's another pro tip. You need to get businesses like as soon as possible in the game. Like you just kind of need to, anytime that you have a chance to buy a business, you need to buy it, because you're eventually going to reach a point where you're not going to have the money in your like bank account to buy stuff that you need to buy. So you really need to get more businesses to launder the money. Let's see here. Lucy. And you're over here. But you always want to make sure you increase the price, though, if you ever have to up it. Because, like, they almost always ask for 8 or 9. I always have to up it to 10, usually. You always want to make sure that you up the price, though, because it doesn't automatically do that. Wow, so you can see I already have, I mean, it's a little lower because I started to launder the money, but for a second there, I had $50,000. I think I already had some before, but that's pretty good for just one day like that. Alright. Let's go back. I love the golden skateboard. Oh. So I am technically going to be ending the day a little early here. I'm just going to immediately go to sleep here, and that does mean I'm going to lose out probably on a little bit of revenue from stuff getting sold. But in the long run, it's going to... This is so annoying. I don't know why they do it through the wall and just leave their stupid product on the ground. Get to work, trash lady. Come on. Alright, anyways. Well, let's go ahead and sleep here and see how much we end up earning. We earned from this day. Alright, well look at that. We got $13,000 of dealer earnings and about $5,000 of my own earnings. So, I mean, that's pretty good for one day. Sometimes I feel like that amount isn't right, because I feel like I definitely had more in my bank account than that. Like, I thought I had like 16K I don't know. I just feel like this number is messed up sometimes. But yeah, anyways, that's basically the most efficient setup here. Just have it like this. Don't do mixtures. Simple as that.